Well, good evening. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and those around the globe that will be joining us shortly. This welcome to Real Talk Corner, and on this beautiful Sunday evening, the 23rd day of February 2025. People, February is almost through, and Carnival is right around the corner in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't endorse carnival, but it's part of what they say our culture. And we have a lot of foreigners and so on that is coming into Trinidad and Tobago to enjoy themselves. But it is what it is, and I hope those people really do enjoy themselves and um, be safe while they're at that. So this evening we have a special segment, and the theme is security and politics in Trinidad and Tobago. There's a lot of concerning matters before us as citizens. There are those who are concerned and there are those who are not really concerned. They say let bygones be bygones, so that is what it is. But tonight I want to welcome each and every one of you to Real Talk Corner. And also I want to welcome my co-host, Hadassah Charles-McLeod, to the set tonight. We are doing something a little new, so it's going to be a test run tonight on this new channel that we are using. So Hadassah, how has been your day?
Oh, my day was long and it was hot for a little bit because, in our wonderful Banana Republic, things like power outages are still very possible and
Yes.
quite frequent. So, yes, I was without power for a while today, which meant that for a while I couldn't cook, I could not do any washing or anything like that. But I'm not complaining. I'm happy to be here. I want to welcome our audience to another episode of Real Talk Corner Live. Esther, you look lovely. And
Thank you.
I want to
Timely.
say, yeah, I want to say a special shout out to our producer in the background who is making this possible. Like Esther said, we are trying something new, and we hope that you, as the audience, would appreciate it. We have taken up the challenge to do better and to be better because I feel like as once you're alive and you have breath in your body, you should take every opportunity to improve yourself, and we really want to get the show up to international standards so that we could have better conversations and better quality of guests. Um, so, like Esther said, we do have a lot to talk about today. Of course, you never take a break from being a Trinbagonian, and we never get to take a break from the things that concern us. And I just need to just say this and we'll come back to it, right? If Kamala Prasad Bisasa was the prime minister with the current things that are going on, everybody would be holding her over the fire and the media would give her no rest. That's all I would say for now, and we would come back to it. Back to you, Esther.
I like that. I like that statement, but I want to say that she's under fire and she's not the leader. She's not the prime minister yet. The woman can't even breathe hard. The journalists, they are on her toes, they're on her heels. I've seen some questioning, and I'm wondering, do they think that she is the prime minister now? No, she is not. Yet they have been bombarding her. Anything that this goodly lady does, it's a problem for a number of the journalists. It's as though they were paid to just bombard her and to have all the negatives. She's dealing with her party, internal party situation, and they come after her like, vipers. So that question, I would love to hear and see comments on it because she's not the prime minister. But however, there's so many people that is talking about her. But before we go to that, as Hadassah said, we want to deal with some little situation with the security in our country. Well, we know already that you're not safe in this country of Trinidad and Tobago. Most citizens does not feel safe, even in your home, with burglar proof and with dogs and with cameras, because it seems as though people are so lawless. And I guess because of the scenarios at hand, they blame it on poverty and no job. And I understand all of that. But that doesn't give anybody the right to invade people's private home, to steal, to kill them, to beat them up, especially our senior citizens. There has been a lot of home invasion, and a lot of people are scared for their lives. People are not going out as they used to, but it is a serious concern for a lot of us because there seems to be no protection. And one of the latest thing I read about is this 25,000 ammunition that is missing. And that is very alarming and concerning for me. I don't know about the rest of the citizens, but if you have 25, this is not 2,500, it is 25,000. It is not 25 ammunition. It is 25,000 gone missing that is unaccountable for. And this is very, very scary for a lot of people. For me, it's not because, I always like to say that I depend on the Holy Spirit through Jesus Christ to protect me with his angels, but you can never be too sure about anything. You have to have, the right things in place to protect our citizens. And here it is, you have 25,000 ammunition, rounds of ammunition have gone missing from Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. Should worry citizens. That's from I'm reading this from my phone. It should worry us, Hadassah, but it seems as though some people are not even aware of it. And then some people, it really doesn't matter. What are your thoughts on something like that, especially since our Prime Minister is supposed to be the chairperson of national security, and he have not really said anything, nor has the Minister, excuse me, of National Security said anything about it thus far.
Hmm. Well, it is unfortunate that we as the citizens are used to this scenario. So in this particular case, it is 25,000 rounds of ammunition missing, but it could also be the death of a high profile person. It could also be a natural disaster or whatever. But we are used to not getting any type of response or reassurance from our prime minister. And we know that Fitzgerald Hines is just a figurehead, right? He has no value. I was telling Esther before we started the show, if anybody paid attention, the last press briefing that he did, where Stuart Young was in attendance, the media asked him a question. He opened his mouth to answer, and he was stopped abruptly, and Stuart Young took the question and ran with it. It bodes well for our dysfunctional government that it is carnival time because it is the ultimate distraction. Anybody who cares about carnival, jumping, waving, picking up their costume, getting tickets for fets, um, making sure that they meet up with their crew and they have enough money and whatnot. This is the season for the most atrocious and heinous things to take place, and the public is none the wiser because people are not paying attention to what is happening in the Republic. And the whole case is just indicative of what life is in Trinidad. Because in reading the newspaper article, it said that the ammunition was moved from a secure bunker to another location because the bunker was leaking and they had to fix it. Again, That is a problem that we have in Trinidad, where infrastructure, buildings are not maintained, right? They are not kept up to standards. And if you have to move that amount of ammunition, why wasn't it put in another secure location, or why wasn't there round the clock security? So this was obviously an inside job, right? And now it's going to cost the public money to do an audit and an investigation. And so we go on the merry-go-round of dysfunction in this country. That's all I would say.
And it has been that way for a very long time. And everything is an investigation, but we need to be also aware that every investigation costs a lot of money. And my mind
Exactly.
goes back to last year when the SOE was called, and you realize in December the SOE was called. A little after that, you heard of our commissioner of police being arrested, allegedly for something with some high whatever rifle that should not have been bought in. I have concerns with that still because you were hearing that the persons who bought it in, the individual that bought those rifle in, was not arrested, but the commissioner of police was arrested and questioned and all of that. And then now you hear of 25,000 rounds of ammunition being missing. And Hadassah, you just allude to the fact that, okay, it was, the bunk was leaking, they had to do some fixing, and those things should be properly secured. Even if that is the case, who is being held accountable for these kind of what should I say, traumatizing news? How could 25,000 be missing because you're transporting it from one area to the next? Isn't there a procurement um, scenario, something that you put in place, a group of people or an individual who has the autonomy to make sure that these things are safe? I'm laughing because it seems like a joke in our country. It seems as though anything is anything, anything plays off, nobody's held accountable. You just hear these things up in the air. Where is the Prime Minister? He is the chairman of the National Security. Where is our National Security Minister? They are numb. They are not saying anything to the citizens, as though we, the citizens, are not worthy of knowing what is happening in this country. We are supposed to always be taken by surprise. After you hear of some destruction, then you may hear, excuse me, you may hear one of them saying something, and like you rightfully said, you probably would hear Minister Stuart Young, because he seems to be the Prime Minister, the
Minister of
Minister of
everything.
National Security, and everything. Come on, what is happening in our country? And they have no respect for the citizens. And this is one of the reasons that citizens should do different come general election, because this government clearly has no respect for us, as though we don't need to know anything. You'll just stay quiet and let us do what we have to do. I understand that there are some things that you wouldn't talk because of security reasons, but this is on the newspaper, and we just hear it from the news, the journalists, whatever there. But our Prime Minister is not coming forward to say anything to us. Our National Security Minister is not coming to say anything to us. And I am very concerned as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. I am concerned.
Well, yes, it's more than a cause for concern, but three things are happening here, and I hope I remember them because I forget things really fast. But one, you were right when you said that our prime minister does not have any respect for us, right? This is indicative of that. And we have been around the block enough times to know that we are not going to get any type of response that is satisfactory, honest, or transparent.